we're talking here at CodeMash in Sandusky, Ohio. We're talking with Phil Japikse from Cincinnati, and I got one question for you.
Okay.
Tell me about a great project, a project that really excited you, where you got to do some cool things that'll impress us.
Well, one of the most interesting projects I've been on recently has been writing a payroll app.
Okay. That doesn't really sound that interesting.
Well, what's interesting about it is not the payroll part of it. Payroll actually is very boring. And the problem with this particular application is we had to have all the accounting in it, it's for long-term care. So you have to have all the regulatory stuff in there. So it wasn't just like, I worked this many hours, you take out this many taxes, and you cut a check. What was really interesting about it was I could pick the technology stack. The client said, we need this app, how do you think we should write it? This is pre-WPF, so it was WinForms.
I would have it's service.
No, this is actually, we actually released it about a year and a half ago, but we're still refining. We're actually converting it to WPF now.
Oh, nice.
But we have SQL Server on the back end.
Okay.
We're using WinForms in .NET 2.0 at the time. We haven't migrated it to 3.5 yet. But one of the most interesting parts of this was distribution of updates.
Okay.
Right, because that's what everybody hates about Smart Client, right? From an IT perspective.
Sure. Where was your user base? Were they across the country? Or
all across Ohio, all the way
from
from Toledo, all the way down to Portsmouth.
And everybody's going to have this Windows client installed on their machines, and every once in a while you're going to have to push out an update to them.
Absolutely, but the important thing to keep note in .NET, there's no installation, right? It's X-copy deployment.
Yep.
So what we decided to do was, and I talk about this on N+1. Which is a site that Brian Prince and James Bender and Mike Wood, who you talked to about user
great
groups,
guys, great guys.
An architecture site. I wrote an article about Smart Client versus Web Client. And the problem that you have always had in Smart Client is how do you get the updates out there? Because IT doesn't want to be touching all the PCs. So what I did was I did a hybrid. I used click once but only to get the icon on their machine. Right, because everybody wants to be able to click on an icon.
Okay.
Right, so once I made sure I could bootstrap the .NET Framework, so I had the .NET Framework on there. And then when the app starts up, the actual executable, all it does is goes out to a website, pulls down a manifest file, an XML file, and says here are the current versions of all the assemblies, and it's broken down by permissions. So if you're a payroll user at a facility in one of the nursing homes in Toledo, for example, you don't have access to all the modules.
Okay.
So based on how you logged in, right? Yeah, and then it will intelligently go through and say, oh, okay, out of this manifest file, I'm going to look at what files you have on your machine, what permissions you have, and I'm going to auto update.
It'll automatically pull those down from somewhere out in the cloud.
Yes.
And install them on the machine, or I should just say X-copy them on the machine.
Yeah.
All you need to do.
Just copies them down.
And it does that every single time the
Every single time you start the app.
Problem solved. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's kick-ass.
So that was I could bore you with payroll details, and the payroll part of it was really kind of icky.
Yeah.
But it was nice to be able to do Smart Client again, because I'm a really big fan of Smart Client.
I used to be an accountant, and I'm not making this up, I used to bore myself.
Yeah. So, but that was the solving the distribution problem was made me pretty proud.
That's great. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.